Welcome to the Dr. Jim Cares podcast with Dr. James Augustine, where we provide powerful solutions for helping you create wellness. The following discussion is for educational purposes only and is not meant to diagnose or treat disease. Because our approach is individualized, it's important to not apply this information without first consulting with your healthcare professional. And now, here's Dr. Jim.
Hey, welcome back to the Dr. Jim Cares podcast. My name is Dr. Augustine from Head to Wellness. Today we're going to be talking about energy or your lack of energy. And it's going to be a pretty deep dive, so I hope you can hang with me. We're going to talk about a lot of items today. And let's start at the deepest level, but prior to starting there, I want to say, do you have low energy? I bet you we can say for pretty much everybody out there, your energy is not nearly what it could be or should be, where you'd like it to be. And so we want to get into all of the reasons why your energy could be low and ways to improve it. So take it on kind of a two-edged sword there. Reasons that your energy can be low, but also how can we improve your energy? And we want to start at the deepest level possible. That would be inside of your cells. It's been said in science that you have like 37 trillion cells in your body, and inside those cells you have something that's called mitochondria. Small, tiny, let's just say batteries inside your cells, and the entire biochemistry within your body. I've taken biochemistry in school, other doctors have as well, and at the essence of it is something called the Krebs Cycle or citric acid cycle. Krebs Cycle, very top of it, our food feeds in as this particular particle called acetyl-CoA. And the entire cycle is fed by nutrients, okay? Nutrients. And if you get all those nutrients into the Krebs cycle, ultimately what ends up forming is something called ATP, adenosine triphosphate, also known for you as energy. So imagine that these little battery packs really give you energy at the end of the day. So it's important. Your cellular health is a critical factor, and it's at the very basic level of how your body produces energy. Therefore, we can do some testing, real special testing that's available today, unlike it hasn't been in the past 10 years, and it's called an organic acids urine test. It's a urine test. The beauty of this test is it really demonstrates how your cellular health is doing. And depending on, and this is the interesting part about this testing, as you go through the Krebs cycle, there are certain intermediate steps or stages there that if you get higher levels of that substance into your urine, it indicates that the nutrients that would move you to the next step are not available. It really demonstrates very nicely how well your cellular health is doing. So mitochondria, mitochondrial energy, that's a critical factor. Cellular health is a critical factor, and we can easily measure that with a specialized urine test. Good thing to do, because as you know, maybe you know this, cellular health is involved with cancer. And as you know, people with cancer typically are low energy. So cellular health is a major, major factor, and especially so today because our diet and nutrition is so depleted of real nutrients today. Next level, how about stress? Who doesn't have stress out there? If you say you don't have stress, you are deluding yourself. You are telling lies because everybody has stress. Just drive on the freeway, pretty major stress. Your work can be stressful. Getting up too early in the morning, not getting enough sleep. There's all kinds of reasons for stress, and directly what that happens is that affects your adrenal glands. These two glands that sit on top of your kidneys in the back of you, and they are your stress glands. And the first thing that happens when they get beat up from too much stress, what happens? Low energy. So you lose energy in your body. Hence a good reason to improve adrenal function, because I would say today is probably, not sure if it's the best time in history or the worst time, in the sense of people have just dramatic levels of stress. Family, work, worry, concern, lack of sleep, poor food, too much other things that we intake in our bodies, and we're going to talk about that next. What do we try to do when our adrenals go low? Is we drink coffee. A lot to say about coffee. Coffee is a good thing and it's a bad thing. So it's a double-edged sword there. Coffee can give you a boost of energy because it raises up the caffeine and it raises up your cortisol levels. But you don't want this perpetually high cortisol level, because what happens is it'll move us towards having insulin resistance, pre-diabetes, and then moving you into diabetes. Excuse me. So coffee, double-edged sword. Gives you a boost of energy, but it's not lasting. And so consequently, people will drink coffee all day long. That's not a good thing. I would say at the most 1 to 2 cups in the morning would be best. Organic is also best because it's a very highly pesticided crop. Coffee can be a good thing, can be a bad thing. But I get it. I know why people do that. What about exercise? Exercise is a very plus, a big pro thing that you could do, very positive thing that you can do for your body. But one problem with exercise is you can do too much. So if you put more, because physical exercise is a stressor on your body. So if you put too much or more stress onto an already stressed body, you can have worsening of your stress level and worsening of your symptoms. So you kind of find a balance between doing a good amount of exercise that's going to be therapeutic to your body and not too much that it's going to kind of start beating you down. What you would notice is that you would start having symptoms in your joints. You can have pains and things show up from the exercise. And you can also hit barriers or plateaus in exercise that you just can't push through. And you have to really take inventory and see, okay, am I overwhelming my body? Because here's the thing about exercise, is it actually improves mitochondria. Actually, you grow more mitochondria by exercise, which is why people move their bodies, and your mitochondria function better, and your body functions better and feels better. There's also a bunch of great chemicals that are produced in your body that makes you even feel better mentally and even physically. So exercise is a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing if you do too much of it. What about sleep? Sleep is such a big deal, and it's so overlooked, and we can talk about it, but people don't really want to talk about it, because I always used to say that it's like the little kid in me wants to stay up late at night, really quiet, no one's bothering you, you can do what you want, but it has a detrimental effect on your adrenals, certainly. And a big problem are the people that actually have a job where they're working in the middle of the night, the graveyard shifts and things like that, destroys adrenal gland function. And I had a patient years ago, who had several different autoimmune diseases. And we came to the conclusion, because she was stocking shelves in the supermarket at night, came to the conclusion that if she does not change her work schedule, that she will never get over the autoimmune issues. At some point, probably a year and a half later, she actually came back and said, oh my gosh, night and day difference. I actually am working more of a 9 to 5 hours now, and I actually can sleep at night, and her autoimmune issues just totally unraveled and went away. She's doing amazingly well. Sleep is critical. 9:30 to 10:30 is the witching hour, that hour that if you can follow that drop in your cortisol levels, because cortisol, by the way, that adrenal stress hormone, that's awakening hormone, it rises in the morning progressively to the afternoon, and then it starts to dip low towards the evening, and it gets to the lowest point between 9:30 to 10:30 at night. And if you can follow the lead of that and actually follow that you're slow, sleepy, tired, and get to bed and actually train your body to sleep then and wake up in the morning. And for ladies, they need 8 to 9 hours of sleep ideally. Men, 6 to 7 to 8. But most people don't get that. They're like 4 to 6 hours, and you're going to be perpetually more tired. It's going to blow out your adrenals more. You'll never catch up. So sleep is critical. We heal when we sleep. There's other problems that can cause sleep issues, such as blood sugar problems and liver issues. Why would you have a liver issue? You say, liver? Why liver? Because most people eat too much starch, sugar, and they drink alcohol. Beats up your liver. Liver is most active between the hours of 2 and 4 a.m. So an indication that you have liver issues if you have poor sleep. Let's move on to low energy, talking about thyroid. Now, thyroid is your metabolism. It's that gland in your neck that is your metabolism, and it should be producing adequate levels of thyroid hormone. And there are a lot of reasons why it wouldn't happen. First off, our diet is very depleted of nutrients today that it would need. Secondly, it has a very tight connection to your adrenal glands, your stress glands. So people with lots of tremendous stress can start to develop thyroid issues. Ladies, you're 6 times more likely, unfortunately, to develop thyroid issues. And if you have a thyroid issue, over 90% of the time, it's going to be an autoimmune thyroid issue. So you need to ensure that your doctor tests you for more than thyroid stimulating hormone, TSH. They need to do, there's actually 10 markers that we do, very complete look at thyroid function. So we want to make sure that it's not autoimmune thyroid, which means if it is, it's not a thyroid issue anymore, it's an immune system issue. Low thyroid, you start to put on weight, you gain weight, you can't lose weight. Energy starts to drop, you can't sleep. When it starts to get worse, your hair can fall out, dry scaly skin, depression, insomnia, mood issues, joint pain kind of all over the place, all sorts of full body metabolic issues with low thyroid and especially Hashimoto's. So thyroid, another reason for low energy. Let's move on to hydration and minerals. Hydration is critical, and I would suggest you try this. Try this. When you're really tired and it just doesn't seem to be any cause to it, try having a big glass of water. Now, I'm not a big fan of the taste of water. I just love water. I don't drink a gallon of water a day. I try to get 32 to 64 ounces a day of water. And on the days that I'm running, I'm exercising, I'm hiking and backpacking the mountains, yes, definitely I will do more. Probably a liter an hour when I'm up in the mountains doing that. But hydration can immediately change things because your body, it's been said that your body's over 70% water. And to make hydration, to make your biochemistry function and work properly, you need water. It's part of the process, part of your biochemistry. Minerals. Minerals are another cofactor that everything that goes on in your biochemistry is based on minerals supporting your body. And today, the water that we drink is mostly filtered, because hopefully you don't drink that tap water that comes right out of the faucet at your house. You would have some sort of filtered water, but the downside of filtered water is it takes out most of the minerals. So you have to make sure that you're putting the minerals back in your body, whether it be from darkened vegetables, salads, and or you're taking a whole food mineral supplement. Great company out there I'm using, and I recommend it highly, is a company called Element, LMNT. Look it up. Great little packets about yay big, about 3 inches tall and about 1 inch wide, packets of electrolytes, and they really have the science down pat. Really good stuff. Not dramatically expensive, but it's really, really good stuff. They're always involved very deeply into the science. So look up Element, really good, recommended, to get your mineral levels balanced. Immune system. When your immune system's active, for instance, every time you've ever had a cold or a flu, you're never full of energy. You're always the opposite. You're tired and fatigued. Well, how about this? What about stealth pathogens? Stealth pathogens, what the heck is that? These are bugs, viruses, bacteria, fungus, or yeast that doctors classically don't test for. And you could be having a stealth pathogen and you don't really know it. And what develops is things like chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, and when they add syndrome on the end of it, that means that they don't know what's causing it, but it's a real thing. Therefore, you should be tested for that problem if you can discover it. By the way, too, there was an illness recently that's known as COVID that can reactivate some of these stealth pathogens. Epstein-Barr virus can be reactivated because of COVID. So nice to know this, plus there are protocols that we use. I call it the stealth pathogen protocol to get rid of those immune burdens. But if you have this chronic, low-grade infection thing going on, you're going to be tired. You will not have the energy that you want to or need to. How about nutrition? We just talked a little bit about nutrition. I kind of threw it in here and there, but nutrition is a really important aspect because everything today, unless you're that nutrient weirdo, if I can call it that, the nutrient nerd that's actively trying to pursue the best nutritious foods, there's a lot to be said there. Commercial grown produce, very deplete of nutrient content. Now they use inorganic fertilizers to grow these really large, beautiful looking fruits and vegetables, but they're really depleted of nutrients, which is why they've done measurements. Organic fruits and vegetables have higher nutrient content than commercial nutrients. Another problem too is the pesticides that are put on these, the commercial ones, so you want to make sure they're pesticide free. Better to also wash your fruits and vegetables, but I'm straying away from lack of nutrients. It's sort of lack of gas in your car if the car doesn't go very far, doesn't run very long. Lack of nutrients for your body, guess what's going to happen? You're going to be more tired and fatigued. So really essential, two things essential, to make sure that your foods that you're eating are nutrient dense, they're fresh, they're not Doritos, they're not processed foods, but they're fresher foods, organic fresh foods, more nutrient content. And then when it comes to vitamins, vitamins try to put back those missing nutrients that your body really needs to function best. Vitamins should be whole food based, as best as you can get them, whole food based, which is also why I use almost exclusively standard processed nutrition. One of the oldest vitamin companies on the planet, been around forever, and they are whole food concentrates. There are some vitamins that you can't get necessarily naturally, so some companies and also standard process has to get them from a synthetic source called Cataplex D for vitamin D. Certainly you can get it from the sun, but cod liver oil also has some in there naturally occurring. So there you go. We need whole food nutrients. We need concentrated whole food nutrition from our foods as well. Let's move on. What about sunshine? Sunshine, getting adequate levels of sunshine helps improve your vascular system. It brings nitric oxide to the surface, improves blood supply, perfusion of blood all over your body. It raises your vitamin D levels, and guess what? To get sunshine, typically you'd have to kind of go outside and walk around or move around or run or ride a bike. Really good stuff. Get an e-bike if you can't really, pedal very far or that sort of thing, but get out in the sunshine. It will help you to develop more energy. Lastly, autoimmune disease. I know we talked about immune earlier, but autoimmune disease is it's sort of a monster that I like to talk about because it's solvable. And let me put a little disclaimer on solvable. I like to say that it's solvable because it can be solvable if you catch it early enough and you're willing to actually do what it takes to change things. Some people that are absolutely destroyed by it, are you going to resurrect all your body tissues? It's going to be a really, really tough road. But everything that you do towards discovering why organ systems aren't functioning right and improving what heals your body, you're definitely going to improve and get better. So maybe not complete restoration, but you can have an amazing ride and change and improvements there. But autoimmune will chronically make you tired. Lupus, Hashimoto's, rheumatoid arthritis, not only being inflamed and painful, things can't move very well, so it's even hard to move. And classically in autoimmune disease, with rheumatoid arthritis specifically, whatever joints that you use more will end up the next day being more painful and inflamed classically. So it very much discourages you from moving your body. Immune system being active, you're going to be more tired. You absolutely have to be. So it's best to start working on that with a holistic functional medicine doctor like myself. If you have questions and problems like that, please let me know. I'd love to help you out. And that's it. So here we go. Let me just summarize for you. Summarize is there's so many things that can influence your energy or lack of energy. At the very deepest level, mitochondria, your cellular health is critical. So we need nutrients there. You need to get those nutrients into your cells. And sometimes you have to do some things to improve your cellular health, like an organic acid urine test. Stress and adrenal function. Oh my goodness, you need to deal with that because everybody has stress. If you're supporting those adrenals, things can change. Because ladies, especially ladies, adrenals create your female hormones. So if you want to go to the best level of actually fixing and solving hormones, adrenal glands. Coffee. Do some coffee, but just not too much, because coffee has a bunch of antioxidants that are good for you. But if you take more than 2 cups in the morning, it's going to cause some problems for you. Raise your cortisol levels too high, it starts depleting your adrenals, and you have problems. Get enough sleep. You have to get more sleep. You have to train yourself and work on that. Thyroid function, get it tested. Don't just do TSH, because your TSH can be totally normal. You can have all kinds of other problems and reasons for your thyroid function not being great. Hydration and minerals. Get plenty of water, but also make sure that you're putting in good minerals into your body. Immune system stealth pathogens, something to be explored by classically a functional medicine doctor to really get to the root cause of that. Nutrition, definitely do organic and do real whole fresh foods. Nutrient dense foods, plus take whole food vitamins, such as standard process. Sunshine, get out and walk. And lastly, we talked about autoimmune disease. Have to solve it. And at any level, wherever you're at, you need to be working with a functional medicine doctor to work on those root causes. Then you never end up treating autoimmune disease. Typically, people are already being treated and taking those immune suppressing drugs. And I get that. People can feel better temporarily, but you ultimately want to solve the root cause of it, because if you have one autoimmune development issue going on, you're going to develop others, which isn't good. So questions or comments, please let me know. If I can help you out, I'd love to. My email address is draugustine@gmail.com. Call my office. My office is 562-860-3404. I'd love to chat with you and answer any questions that you may have. I'm also on social media. I'm on Instagram, TikTok as well as YouTube. And please give me a follow there. That'd be great. I'm also on podcasting, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, as well as Google Podcasts. So you can also just listen to me anywhere. Thanks so much for listening and watching. My name is Dr. Augustine from Head to Wellness, and have a great day.
Thanks for joining us on your journey to wellness. Join us next time for more information and education about your health. And feel free to contact Dr. Jim on social media or at his office, Head to Wellness in Buena Park, California.